Welcome to Time to Press Pause, real life stories from the C-suite. I'm your host, Ellen Williams, CEO of the Salient Strategist, and today we're speaking with Donna Cravotta. Donna is the CEO and founder of Cravotta Media Group. She is also the creator of BeVisible.Club Mastermind and The Real 50 Over 50, The Wisdom Revolution, a visibility project featuring over 100 women over the age of 50 who are making a difference. After 40 years of work, she redesigned her business to help authors, speakers, and small business owners combine all of the parts of their stories and mix tried and true strategies with new technology to be visible and connect with their perfect audiences. Donna, welcome to Time to Press Pause. I'm so excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be with you here, Ellen. Always happy to see you.
I am always happy to see you too. You and I go way back, way back, and at different parts in our career. You helped me, I helped you. You have the 50 of the real 50 over 50, not just 50, the real 50 over 50. And I am pleased to be a member of that. And you've interviewed me, and now it's time for you to share with me on my podcast. So please, let us have your press pause story.
I have several, but I'm going to focus on the most recent one. I'll just touch on the first one was when I quit my corporate job 18 years ago. As my son was getting ready to enter school, I realized as a single parent, it really wasn't a long-term option. And 18 years ago, I started a virtual business in 2006 when there really weren't very many virtual businesses, and I left a really good job to do that. Now I'm going to fast forward to my most recent pause. So about 2.5 years ago, I was at a stage where we were kind of post-COVID. My son was off at college. He was really settled in and doing okay. And I realized that I had built myself a business that I didn't love, that it was really stressful, and it was more stressful than I wanted it to be at this stage of my life. And I had two clients that were really hard, and they were about ready to be off-boarded. And I had three clients that I was really looking forward to working with that were getting ready to be onboarded. And every bit of me was just digging heels in and going, I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to. And I just stopped because the younger me would have fought that voice. But the wiser older me was like, okay, if you're behaving this way, there must be a reason. Let's explore. And I realized that I built an agency that I didn't want. I had a big team. I had a lot of responsibility. I was doing work that didn't light me up. And I just realized if I didn't stop now and rebuild this into what I wanted it to be, that would be something that would allow me to age gracefully and continue to work and really do work that I enjoy doing that's really needed. I would be unhappy, and I would, keep working just because that's what I was trained to do. So I stopped. And in the process of that, I really refined all of the work that I was doing because I took myself through everything that I did with clients. And I was able to do it with the time and the space to actually recognize and acknowledge my own accomplishments and my own personal growth and professional growth through the years, both the 25 years I worked in a law firm and the 18, at the time it was 16 years that I had my own business. And it was a really wonderful experience. It wasn't easy, it was hard, but it was really gratifying and really made me see that I had a very unique skill set that I cultivated and acquired over the years. And I was at that point where I was ready to let go of things I no longer needed and to kind of piece together the things that I wanted to be doing in a new and interesting way that was really relevant to the way technology is moving. And it was just really an amazing experience. And in the middle of all of that, the real 50 over 50 just kind of blossomed out of nowhere because I was getting a little perturbed at the Forbes 50 over 50 and the 30 over 50 conference that they do, and realizing that they left out an enormous piece of the population. All of these women that I knew that were over the age of 50 that were doing incredible work, they were not available for that level of attribution. So I decided to create something for them. So it's the real 50 over 50. These are real women living real life, working in businesses, starting their own businesses across the board, everything from professional services like lawyers and doctors and psychologists, financial services people. And we've got Oracle card readers and hypnotists and authors and speakers and everything in between. And most are women that have decided to pave their own way and start their own businesses doing what they loved. Every week I do a live interview, and we've had over 100 interviews between the weekly interviews and the panels. And hearing these stories every week has changed me. And I know it's changed other people too. It's just incredible. It's an incredible experience to be able to be trusted with people's stories and their experiences um, and their journeys through all of the many ups and downs and sideways and backwards and bumps and bruises that life takes you on. And it's not just me. I think there are so many other communities blossoming around with women over 50 that are doing incredible things in the world, helping people. Every day is amazing. I mean, it's not easy. It's still hard. And, financially, it might not have been the best thing to do, but it's coming back. I built a business that I can do for the rest of my life.
You absolutely lit up when you started talking about the real 50 over 50. But I want to rewind a little and ask you a couple things
Yeah.
that you said about your pause. First, you built a business you didn't love. Now, I suspect that wasn't the case when you started it, of course.
When I started my business, I was ready to do anything that anybody would pay me to do that was legal.
You know what? Right. I've been there too, for sure. So I was going to ask, did it turn into a business you didn't love because you had changed or because the business had changed?
Because I just did what clients needed. And, like the work that I do is about helping people become intentionally visible to the right audiences. So you're not wasting time and you're not getting into that time suck of social media or creating all of these high-end tech things that you don't really need, which we all fall into at some point in this journey, right? But what happened was for me to be able to do what people hired me to do, I had to fix their broken website, and they had no emails and they had 5 Facebook accounts. And for my work to do anything at all of value, all of that needed to be fixed. So it was like, okay, so now you can go hire 5 other vendors to do these things, or I'm just going to suck it up and do the work and get this done so we can carry on with what you hired me to do in the first place. And that's how I ended up with an agency. So I'd hire another person and another person and another person. And yes, I'll fix your website. And yes, I'll fix your email funnels. And yes, we'll do your graphics and we'll create case studies and we'll do your ebooks and all of these things that I just didn't want to do. And then quite often what things would happen where I couldn't do the work that they hired me to do because all of the budget went to the things I didn't want to do that had to be done. So I just stepped aside from all of that. And I don't offer those services anymore.
You're back to still offering what you originally offered, but you've
Yeah,
sort of shaved
I
off
shaved off
the
all of
business
the
you built in trying to support the services you were
yes,
offering.
yes, yes. And now it focuses more on content development, PR, training people how to do this themselves or bring it into their organization that they can do in-house and they could do it well. It's a lot cheaper. And the tools have really come down to be much more manageable and much more accessible. That was all included in this process of pausing that I did is I changed all of the tools because AI came out in the middle of all of this. Because of that, it took me longer than I expected it would, but I had to really figure out how all the pieces came together and also who I wanted to be in the landscape of AI. I didn't want to be that person that was known for doing something else that now is this AI expert. I still don't claim to be an AI expert. I think there's only a handful of people that are actually
I
AI
agree. I
experts.
agree. There's a lot of people out there saying they are, but
Yeah.
that's not really the case. I may know more than you, but that doesn't mean I'm an expert.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
mean,
not.
not you specifically, but
Yeah, no, anybody. I believe me, I'm not an expert. I'm not. I don't want to be. And then, I'm also really mindful of how I use the tools and how I teach people around about the tools because the way I'm teaching people to use the tools is we're using them for a specific function. What I'm an expert in is those functions. And like we can use this, it's like a tool like any other tool that we could bring in and make this an easier thing to do
I
or
totally
more.
agree.
I really, and I don't really focus on the productivity side of the tools. I focus more on how could we do whatever it is that we're trying to achieve and do it better.
And
Um,
I totally agree. Technology is a tool. Whatever your approach to leveraging that tool, there's a goal.
yeah.
Right. And the tool is to help you get to that goal. So I totally agree. But it sounds like also in this transition that the market had changed a little. So in all those years of, oh, we have to do all this for you, you
Mm,
have new tools, you have a new generation
yeah.
of workforce that understand all the things that 18 years ago nobody
Yeah.
understood,
Nobody
right?
understood. Yeah, nobody understood. And I really believe with all of the work that I do, which helps you to become visible, when you hand that off to somebody else to do for you, you're giving away the opportunity to build invaluable relationships. So by learning how to bring this in-house, whether you're a solo business owner or a corporation, you're actually using the workforce that you have at a much higher level because now everybody is involved in building relationships through the content, through the communications, through the way you interact with people online and offline. That's an invitation to build deeper relationships across the board and to have better relationships both internally and externally.
Relationships are definitely key. And I wish everyone thought that way as far as leveraging the tools and the content for building deeper relationships. I get so many invitations to connect, and then I'm immediately hit with sales pitch, sales pitch, sales pitch. And one thing you said was during this pause that you refined the work and you brought
Mhm.
yourself through the process that you've been doing with your clients, and you were able to identify a unique skill set. And can you elaborate a little bit more about that?
It's something I used to call a content audit. And it's so much more. And nobody ever wants to do a content audit. Nobody wants to do any kind of audit.
True.
But when I took myself through it, I realized what I was doing was I was evaluating 40 years of working in between working in law firms and working in my own business. And I was able to see all of the things I accomplished. Like, so PR, was never properly trained in PR. I don't have a degree. I didn't go to school for this, but I've done it since 1995. And I wasn't seeing that. But I started working in PR in law firms in 1995. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
Yeah. So now I feel fully confident in saying I'm an expert in PR.
Yeah, I would give you expert credit for that one.
Putting together all of these pieces of the different types of work that I've done, the different types of people that I've worked with, the successes and the failures and the different tools and how we put them together and, being there for the early days of social media and SEO and website development and putting those pieces together early on. I mean, I started putting all that together in 2010. Nobody was really doing that in 2010. By 2012, I had a course where I was teaching 200 people how to do that. And Nobody was doing it back then. As I was reviewing all of this in my 40 years of work and the things that kind of wove through it, I started to take out the things that I didn't want to bring with me. They were not in my future. So I was able to kind of like have a little ceremony, say goodbye to them. And then what was left was what I wanted, the work that I wanted to do, the work that I knew people would need, and the work that I knew I could deliver in a way that's very unique. And it feels so good to be able to do that. It simplifies everything. It's actually giving me the opportunity to build relationships with partners because I'm really clear now on what I do and what I don't do and why. And well, okay, this needs to be done, but it doesn't need to be done by me. I could make a recommendation for you. Would you like that?
Right.
So I've
Yeah,
worked with
partnerships
building-
are key
yeah,
for
I've
sure,
worked on
especially
yeah,
when, to your point, you were simplifying everything.
and they go both ways.
Yes.
So that has been such a revelation in what I'm doing. And it might not sound like much, but my business, it was just me and I was growing it and bringing on team as it needed. So it was ad hoc at best. And it wasn't, it was very stressful.
Mhm.
It was very stressful. And I had team all over the world and clients all over the world and dealing with all the various time zones. And now I just do one thing.
In one time zone?
I don't care what time zone you're in. It's not 18 different things
Right, right,
that
right.
require 18 different skill sets.
It sounds like you had great success with your own self-evaluation.
I did, but because I took the time and I didn't
Right.
rush it. It took way longer than I thought it would. It took like 2.5 years. It was worth it. It was worth it. And
Excellent.
when I was in the middle of it, it felt frustrating that it was taking so long. But now when I'm at the tail end of it, I'm really proud of myself.
That's a great way to summarize everything what you just said. So I do have one last question for you. What advice would you have for a CEO or a leader as to when they would identify it's time for them to press pause?
Listen to all of those signals that your body is giving you. Because don't wait until it's a heart attack. Don't wait until it is a critical health issue, because that's what happens when you don't listen. You can head that off.
Yeah, you can head that off.
And it doesn't
Yeah,
always have to be you. Somebody has to do it. It doesn't always have to be you. Lean into your teams, invest in your people. Trust them.
I love that. Trust your people, invest in and trust your people. Thank you. Thank you for the great advice. Thank you for the really fun story and the excitement behind it. It's great to hear when the pause really comes out with something that the storyteller, such as yourself, is in love with and really explores their passion. And those are some of my favorite press pause stories. So
Yeah.
Donna, it was great having you here with me today. And I'm so thankful that you shared your story.
Well, I'm thankful for the platform to share it and for the invitation to share it with the audience.
Thank you for listening to Time to Press Pause. If you're interested in learning more about Donna, please visit CravottaMediaGroup.com. If you'd like to learn more about me, please visit thesalientstrategist.com. And please join us again wherever you listen to your podcasts.